sluggishness is insane. Tell you something, scrolling through Instagram with a broke phone is whack. I'm gonna tell you something too. A lot of the ladies, boy, y'all been killing with the fits, boy. Y'all been killing it on social media with the fits. I'm not gonna lie to you. Especially Brooke, Henny, even talks with TJ and stuff. Like, you know, those three are always killing it with the fits. But, you know, I'm gonna tell you something. You know, actually, let me tell you something. Male sneakerheads. I'm about to say something that might shake your world, male sneakerheads. You better listen up. As you can tell, it's just me today. But look, male sneakerheads, I'm gonna tell you something. If you're driving and you listening to this podcast, male sneakerhead, I'm gonna need you to grab the steering wheel. I'm gonna need you to grab it. 10 and 2. Male sneakerhead, if you listening to this podcast through your headphones and you on public transportation, or you know, you in class, you in school, you in the cafeteria somewhere, I need you to look around. Make sure the coast is clear in order for you to get this laugh on or get angry. I don't know. You know, all my white collar worker, male sneakerheads, you better control alt delete, because you might end up clicking something after I say what I'm about to say. All my blue collar male sneakerheads, you driving the big rigs, you know, you got the jackhammer, you know, you putting in that work with your hands, you might want to go ahead and step back, because I wouldn't want anything to happen to you messing around with heavy machinery. But these lady sneakerheads out here copping the exact same hoodie as you, and they killing it. I'm gonna tell you, they might have to reverse that mean. Some of you fellas, boy, you might have to start taking your girl hoodie, taking your homegirl hoodie as well. It ain't even gotta be your girl. You might have to go to your homegirl house and, you know, sneak away with the hoodie. You know, they try to say the ladies always sneak away with the guys' hoodie. I'm gonna tell you, boy, some of these ladies, they've been killing it. They've been killing it on social media with the hoodies and stuff, man. I'm joking, though. Actually, I'm not joking, but you already know what it is. Yo, Sneak This Podcast, episode 287. Greg is the only one in the building today. Had my kids. My wife is out of town, so, you know, I had my kids and stuff, so couldn't make it to the studio this week. Shout out to George. Shout out to, you know, all the homies and everybody that listens to this podcast. I appreciate every single one of you listening to this podcast. Let me tell you something, man. Being at home with the kids and stuff like that. Kids is crazy, man. Kids is hard work, man. But I pride myself being a good father. And, you know, I wasn't going to do a podcast episode this week. But, I mean, I set myself up at my home, you know, with a studio and whatnot in order to do so. So, I always want to make sure that we can put something on for the rest of the week. You guys always support us by listening to the podcast. You know, the least I want to do is just make sure I come through every single week. Episode might be out a tad bit later than usual, but I don't know, man. Maybe as soon as I'm done recording, I'll get the audio out. Video should be up. Maybe actually a little bit quicker than usual, depending on how much I edit. But, you know, like I said, man, that's the difference between us and other podcasts. Other podcasts, they just don't record for a while. They fade away. And this is not talking about anybody in particular. This is what I always say to every single person who does a podcast. The only goal of a podcast is to come back the next week. That's it. There's no other goals. Don't sit around talking about you trying to get the bag. You're trying to get paid. Man, don't worry about that, man. The only goal you need to set is coming back next week, man. Like I said, man, appreciate everybody who likes, subscribe, share this podcast. Appreciate everybody who DMs, man. My phone is broke. So I got about, from the notification I could tell, I got about, looks like 60 plus DMs I haven't responded to. Yo, I've been using Instagram on a desktop like I'm in the computer lab at high school or something. But y'all don't know nothing about that, man. Some of y'all went outside for stuff like that. I'm going to tell you something. There was a period of time, man. I know a lot of y'all don't remember stuff like this, but there was no such thing as apps, you know, and stuff like that. Well, I remember, like, You know, you used to get like a girl phone number on like AOL or MySpace or Black Planet. For those who don't know, Black Planet was like one of the OG social media. And if you didn't write that joint down at the house, and then you was already on the streets, well, you can go on your cell phone and log into your stuff. Cell phones had internet, but it wasn't the same. You know, it was limited, and it wasn't like the internet on our cell phones. Now, the internet on our cell phones now is the internet. Sometimes you'd have to pull up to a public library and give your library card and go to the little computer and log into your AOL, your Black Planet, your MySpace and whatnot to get that phone number. Then, you know, if you weren't fortunate enough, as, you know, me and the other homies were, to have a cell phone, you might have to go find a payphone and, you know, ring her up, you know, hoping that she had her own phone. It was rare. It was rare for people to have their own phone. I mean, like teenagers and stuff to have their own phone line in the house. Whew, if they still had the main house phone line, you know, mama or daddy would answer. Be a funny feeling asking for somebody, especially somebody you didn't even know yet, you know. But shout out to the old days, man. Like I said, man, I've been out with the kids, man. Times is different, man. I had to, you know, scold my son. You know, a lot of people know about Cortez. I talk about him all the time on the podcast. You know, that's my little monster, man. But, man, well, I had to have a conversation with him about how times are different. You know, he had went and did a doorbell ditched, you know, at a home on our block. And, you know, the worst part of it was he had his little sister with him and his cousin, and both of them are younger than him. And, you know, the fact of the matter is that, you know, we all did it as kids and stuff like that. But when we doorbell ditched as kids, you know, it was more or less like, those meddling kids, they got me again. Nowadays, man, people are crazy, man. Every single house got a camera on it. You know, I remember back in the day, the houses that had camera on it were the sketchy houses. They were doing some weird stuff in the house. Now, every single house has a camera on it, whether it's a Ring doorbell, security cameras, or whatnot. People are crazy nowadays, and they're looking for a reason to snatch somebody up. So I had to let them know, man, it's not the same day when Daddy was a little boy, you know, doorbell ditching. I'm like, you could have put yourself in a real dangerous situation. And I don't know my neighbors. I'm not a neighbor person. I don't know one neighbor in my neighborhood, and I've been here for 7-8 years. I don't know one name, okay? Not one. I couldn't even pick my neighbor out if it was standing in front of me with two other people. I have no idea. I don't converse with neighbors like that. I don't chit-chat and sit in the front yard and do things like that. It's just not in my nature. You know, but I told him, I said, if something would have happened, I'd have no idea where you went, you know, or what took place. But, you know, shout out to kids. Shout out to all the fathers out there, man. You know, doing your thing. And, you know, this ain't nothing to knock anybody who don't have kids. But, you know, when you got kids one day, you'll understand, man. Pickups this week. Shout out to Ruby. Ruby has sent me a link. I don't remember what store it was, but they had these Peace Paisley Vans. Joint was fire. Now, the old school joint had like a paisley print that was like, I don't know, like sort of just in the side panel. They didn't really care for that one, but they had this authentic, a Vans authentic. And it was like, look, you listen to this podcast, you see me post pictures online, I love Vans. All right, Vans to me are the go-to, and they never go out of style. Them joints is just, you know, supreme fire. But they had these like light tannish, whitish, taupish ones, and it was like mixed match on each shoe. Joints is supreme fire. So I copped a pair of those. I didn't buy them from the site that Ruby sent them from. And then I went to the Vans site. Vans didn't have the ones I wanted. They had all the other Peace Paisley ones. But I found another site that had them $10 cheaper. Let me tell you something. If you ever see a pair of Vans that you like somewhere, go to Vans site first. Van is always free shipping. That free shipping comes in handy. I'm going to tell you, because Vans, you know, I love the price of Vans and stuff like that right now. But Vans are trying to sneak up on you. You know, you find yourself looking at a dope pair, like, ooh, these is clean. Let me go ahead and give them this $65. You add them joints to cart, and you be like, 97. But, 97 with 14 shipping, so you gotta watch out. You end up walking out paying $120 for a pair of Vans and didn't even know it. Got a few things to talk about today. Like I said, man, I had no plans. Actually, I did have plans on doing so. But I didn't know, man. I was going to record the podcast last night, but the sluggishness. Well, I'm going to tell you something. When that sluggishness hits you in the chest, it's different. I had one of them sluggishness where, like, let me lay on the bed for like 15 minutes real quick, then hop up. Nah, 15 minutes turned into, about an hour and a half. You wake up disorientated, face wet, drool and stuff on it. You know the drill. I didn't try for anything else this week. I thought I wanted muslin threes. Shout out to the homie Rick. I don't know who all picked up muslin threes. I really thought those were fire. I've seen pictures of those, before they came out, and it's an off-white Jordan 3, and I get it. But muslin threes, them joints, they look like the ghost, like the spirit of a 88. It looked like if a Jordan 3 88 died, the muslin would like come floating in. Like it looks like the ghost of a Jordan 3. Like it's something weird about them joints. I don't know. Since George isn't here today, I guess I got to do releases. So, bear with me. Hey, some of you guys like when I do the podcast solo. Some of you don't. I got actually a pair of sneakers that I had brought up an episode that I said I found while cleaning out the closet, and I'm like, man, every time I see these, I'm like, these joints is crazy. Like I just really don't remember much about them, and I don't even know how I got them or why I have them. But I got them joints right here. I'm gonna bring them out towards the end of the show, just to kind of show something. I figure every single time I do an episode in the closet, I might as well show something. People are always like, yo, you should pull some sneakers out the closet, do a tour thing. No, no, thank you. There's plenty of other video YouTube people who do things like that, and I appreciate them for that, but that just isn't me. So so for those who are right now listening to the smooth sounds of me, if you hate it, my bad. If you love it, I appreciate it. You know what I mean? So releases this week, Adidas Equipment 93. I think this is like the Sean Witherspoon Super Earths. Look, man. Nice. I don't really know what to say, to be honest with you. If Adidas doesn't care, why should I? Adidas Quantum Mono Carbon. To me, I like the Quantums. A lot of people have had, their, sort of like on the fence regarding Quantums. In the beginning, like, we really were super duper high on them, and then it kind of fell off a little bit. When I saw them in person at Legend down here, Legend is a local consignment shop out here. Shout out to Legend. I still thought they were fire. Now, do I know how to wear them? I don't know. I think you need like a giant nylon pant. I don't know. Like, they're not the most versatile shoes. Like, I would never use them to actually play basketball. Some say they're actually cool for hooping, but I don't know. They just don't look like it to me. But I like them. I feel like all these Quantums have fallen flat due to the fact that they all look the exact same. They haven't reached out into any other colors whatsoever. There's no white pair. There's no black pair, I guess, if you want to say that. They're just like all like a slate gray. They're all some type of variation of gray. Some of them have like a hint of color in the background, like a little amber, a little turquoise in the background, but it's not enough, There's no red pair. There's no black pair, no white pair. It's kind of a weird shoe. Reebok questions. Mocha toe. Look, man, if Reebok doesn't care, why should I, man? Reebok Shaqnosis, the big Aristotle. I don't know if I gotta say it. I mean, come on, man. Real quick, growing up on Reeboks, I pretty much had every single Reebok from every signature athlete you could think of. And I mean every single colorway of every single model. Reebok was my thing when I was younger. There were so many other versions of Iversons and Shaqs and stuff like that like Reebok just seems to act like doesn't exist. I mean, coming out with a Shaq, this Shaqnosis, the picture's probably on the screen somewhere. I don't know how much space I'm going to give myself. This Shaqnosis is called the Big Aristotle, and it's like covered in marble, like a marble print. Come on, man. Like, it's the effort in the stuff that, throws me off. Even the case with Adidas and stuff like that, it's like the effort. More or less like the, like, let's see what happens versus the, like, let's really sit down and think about this. You can't deny the history and how would Reeboks and stuff like that look. Even the history in Adidas. The one thing with Adidas is that their catalog isn't good enough. Their retro catalog isn't good enough. It was perfect at the time. if you look at a lot of Adidas models, they come across as like one-offs. Like, we made this, boom, that's it. You let a few years pass, you realize you don't need it again. That's why they add 4D to it and Ultra Boost to it and new things to it. They try to, like, you know, update it, take off the laces, put on the laces, add a Velcro. You know, they try to do a lot of things to things like that. But Reebok has a lot of sneakers that are just, you know, they qualify in the fire category. They just don't know how to update their stuff. They don't know how to take lead, and I don't know if that's just somebody behind the scenes that won't allow it. I don't know. Dunk SB Polaroid. Shout out to the homie Josh. I saw he already had his pair. Look, it grew on me a lot, you know, and I'm not actually sure if it's legit a Polaroid collaboration or if it's like, you know, the street nickname. You know, there's a lot of dunks out there that had the street nickname but wasn't really that. I don't know why Polaroid would need an SB dunk. You know, I kind of take it to the sense of like, and you know, I'm sure somebody's gonna message me. My phone is broke, so DMs they getting responded to slow. So I'm pretty sure somebody will let me know, like, Polaroid was the original skate brand. Who knows? Polaroid is the picture you fan it and you look at it and be like, oh, look, it's us instantly in poor quality. You know, it's sort of like Orange County Choppers. Y'all remember that show? It's where like people just made bikes to make bikes. It was like, you know, I remember like the United States Army was on like Orange County Choppers, like, you know, we want a chopper. For what? Like, y'all not going to war on choppers, you know? It's just promotional stuff, you know? I don't know how much promotion a Dunk SB can do for Polaroid, but, you know, blessings. Dunk High Black Vintage. I mean, it's a black and white Dunk High, but vintage. It's not whack. It's not fire. It's just shoe, you know? Dunks are just becoming shoe. Like, and look, I'm going to tell you guys something. A lot of y'all got a problem with black and white dunks, like seeing them all the time and them keep re-releasing them. Black and white dunks legit qualify already as one of the sneakers of the decade. It already does. It's the absolute perfect sneaker. There's nothing, you can't go wrong with the black and white dunk. If you never get any other dunks in your entire sneaker repertoire, all you need is a black and white dunk, to be honest with you. And like I said it, and I hate saying this all the time that I said it, but I said it. Dunks are just Vans. It's shoe now. Dunk is shoe. And what I mean by that is like, you can spice it up with a fit, or you could throw them joints on just to run down the street real quick to the homie house. You know, or you could, you know, slip that joint on real quick to go outside and argue with your girlfriend in front of your mom's house, you know. You know them arguments, you know. It's crazy. Well, girlfriends used to, you know, never mind. A dunk is shoe. I mean, forever how many pair of dunks you got, I don't even know if they're even worth putting back in the box. They're just shoe. You know, it's one of those shoes where, like, I think universally, like, you don't even try to keep it pristine. It's just shoe. You know, I've played soccer in some of my dunks. Shout out to the homie Bruce for my Syracuse dunks. I played soccer in them joints, you know. Came home, gave him a little wipe down with, you know, a washcloth. Them joints was back. Creased up, you know, messed up, but them joints is shoe. They're perfect, you know. The Jordan 2 Union Pack, so I guess that drops this week. I saw some promotional thing with like a gigantic fish tank or aquarium. I don't know. You know, sometimes creativity can just go too far. I like these. I'm not mad at them. I think they'll probably look awful on foot, which is why I'm not like super tripping off of them. I might try for it's like the more pinkish, tannish pair versus the blue pair. Look, a Jordan 2 can never. Don C has the best Jordan 2s of all time. One solid color with luxury materials. That's the best you can do for it. The Jordan 2 OG original was already built with Italian leather. with Italian materials. And the Jordan 2 OGs are fire. Low top Jordan 2s and the Jordan 2 OGs are fire. But Don C's just sort of took it to a next level, and you sort of expect that from down the road. I expect that down the road. This pack, I don't know. Maybe it's something that's a little bit more desirable once you get on foot. I don't think they'll look good on foot, but, I know I'm a Man Year 2 is coming out soon, and it looks awful. But it's neither here nor there. And then the Jordan 5 Jade Horizon. Let me tell you something about this. I'm having a real hard time with this. I'm not a Jordan 5 guy anymore. Jordan 5s are legendary. And it's more or less the metallic 5 and maybe the fire red. But there's not a lot of Jordan 5s out there that make you like super duper move. There are a lot of colorways in Jordan 5s that we thought are like, oh my God, these are insane fire. And they really aren't. Jordan 5 colorways don't age well. Obviously Raging Bull 5s, metallic blacks, fire reds. If you want to go stealths, there may be a couple other ones. Oh, Grape 5, my bad. Can't miss Grape 5. Them are the only ones that are like, really worth the time. I don't know if time's the right word, but worth the space in your closet. That's how I put it. But these Jade Horizons, there's something special about these. I'm not sure if it's an exclusive, if it's a women's sneaker that comes in extended sizes, or is it just, a regular unisex or a men's release. I'm not 100% sure. But I think I might try. The 200 price tag is what I don't like. I feel like this is one of those Jordans where it's like everyone's like, but then it's going to slowly. This might be the handcraft one of Jordan 5s where it's like, nah. But then when you get it in hand and you look at it, you're like, and it slowly goes like this. And next thing you know, Jade Horizons are like 600. I feel like it. The best part of this shoe to me is that the eyelets and the sole are already, they look from pictures pre-yellowed already. If you have any Jordan 5s and stuff like that, you know the specific areas that turn like yellow. These look already yellow. And the light, subtle hints of pink on these joints is fire, man. Like, I'm going to tell you something. If you're a Jordan 5 person, this is a must-have for Jordan 5s immediately. Like I said, man, I'm strongly considering it, but I don't know. We'll have to see. I think that's pretty much it for the week. I'm pretty sure, like, some other things will drop or... I think I got a few notifications on confirm for some stuff. I didn't take a look at what it was, but, like I said, my phone is broke. That's weird. My phone is broke. I can only touch, like, maybe 1/4 of the phone. So in order to, like, text, I have to, like, rotate the phone completely, like, rotate A, rotate it back, end, rotate it back, D. Like, that's legit how my phone is right now. Yes, I could go buy another one instantly, and, I'm sure... somebody listening to this podcast like, yo, you buy all those sneakers, bro, and you can't buy a phone. I'm not gonna go buy a phone the day it broke. All right, I don't move quick like that. Having a broke phone is low key a blessing. Like, people call, I can't even answer it. Like, I can't answer it. Like, sometimes I can, sometimes I can't. Some texts I can respond to. I can't even touch IG really. Like, I'm talking, I can't touch social media as much as I can. I've been doing a lot of it from my desktop. And it's weird, and I prefer not to do a ton of responding from the desktop because, typically it starts a back and forth. And I don't want to be on my desktop that entire time having a back and forth conversation through, Instagram desktop. You know what I mean? That's the benefit of having the phone is like, it's on the go. I respond to a DM, they say something bad, we can talk back and forth with each other for a little while before, you hit them with the emoji, which means this conversation's over. Appreciate everybody who's been continuing to vote for the collaboration tournament. We are now down to the championship. So the final four of the collaboration tournament. And like I said, man, I appreciate every single person that's voted for this. We definitely crossed over past the 40,000. Oh, no, I'm sorry. We got over 37,000 votes for our tournament. And I thought the tournament went well this year. One of the hard parts about the tournament is that... the continuing advertising of it. Right now, we're at the championship round and votes are slowly coming in, but I haven't really put it out there. I'm leaving the championship open for a week for people to vote on it. And I wanted to coincide with the NCAA tournament. So it was going to end and we do it today, but I extended it since me and George are in the studio. But you have an entire week to vote, and next week we'll talk about it on the next episode, the champion, and sort of like review the collaboration tournament, and kind of things that like shocked us or things that we didn't expect to happen with it. The final four was the ASIC Gel Light 3 Salmon Toe, the number one seed, against the number one seed Jordan 1 Union. The Jordan 1 Union blew the Gel Light Salmon Toe out the water. The Union had 96% of the votes. Look, Union ones, I think I expected those to get to the championship. I don't know if a Union one should be blowing a salmon toe out the water. Win? Yes. Blow it out? That's almost 100% of the votes. And there were two number one seeds, which I do like. I like our seedings worked out the way they did. The number ones met against each other. And that was the salmon toe out of the Kith division, and the Union one came out of the all other brand division. On the other side, we had the number one seed, the Dunk SB Blue Lobster, versus the number 3 seed, Dunk SB Black Cement. This was a little bit closer, which I expected. I think George, I don't remember what George said the other week. I think he said it should blow it out. Black Cement Dunk is fire. The SB Dunk is fire. Don't get me wrong. The Blue Lobster is legendary. And so was the Black Cement SB. Don't get it twisted. I feel like the Blue Lobster, not legacy. I don't know what the word is. I think it lasted a lot longer and still has the allure, or the I guess if you want to call it that, than the Black Cement Supreme. The Black Cement Supreme came out, I think, 2008, 2009. It was a long time ago, before a lot of people, that are currently in the sneakers right now were even in the sneakers. And that's just facts. And it wasn't, the easiest sneaker to get at the time. And I think right now that sneaker is currently at around like 5,000. I don't know where Blue Lobsters sit right now. I'm pretty confident they're probably in the thousands as well. But the Black Cement did end up beating the Blue Lobster, and that came in at the 3 seed, and it had 52% of the vote. So it was a little bit closer than I expected. Closer like I expected. I actually thought the Lobsters were going to win based off of their lobsters. A lot more people that are currently in the sneaker culture right now, they know and knew lobsters, even if they weren't fully in the sneaker culture yet. Black Cement Dunk SB Supremes, I don't want to say it was a niche, but like, it just wasn't I don't know how to explain it. I'm not really sure how to explain it. But it was a different effort of work into getting those. Same thing for Blue Lobsters as well. You had to camp and do things like that. But I don't know. I think I just expected Blue Lobsters to win. I don't know how to more, sort of express that any differently. So right now the championship is the number 1 seed Union, the Black Toe Jordan 1 Union, against the number 3 seed Dunk SB Supreme Black Cement. So that is the championship. I'm sure you can see it on the screen. Like I said, I don't know where on the screen right now, so I'm here right now. But go to thesneakdis.com to vote. If you're voting on your mobile phone, you just click the little 3 bars in the corner, drop down, click it. If you're on the desktop, it should just be right there in the menu, right above, right next to home or podcast episodes. Go ahead and click that. Go inside, make your votes, and that's it. And you're done with that, and we'll get you guys the results next week for the championship. So, I'm trying to think what else comes up. What else we're talking about this week? Oh, rumor report. That was corny. What was that rumor report on Breakfast Club? Angela E does that or something. It was funny because last week we were talking about Yeezys and stuff like that, and I think we were talking about Wave Runners or something, and I had brought up and I said, I don't understand why they won't bring back the original 350 V1. And, I'm like, legit the next morning was rumors or whatever that the Turtle Dove will be coming out this year. I'm not sure exactly when. I think I saw May, which is actually relatively soon. Don't quote me on that date. I don't know. Could be May, could be April. I don't know. Could be later on. I'm not 100% positive. I think I've seen a few dates. I think it like sort of clearly And I apologize, guys. I'm really tired right now. I think it's about 10:30 here right now. So, like, I'm just trying. Ooh, I'm super sluggish. Um, I definitely know that it's, to me, clearly Kanye isn't on Adidas anymore. Like, and I feel like this is one of those moments. I'm like 99.1% positive that Kanye's Adidas thing is up. Like we've mentioned before in the past, in the last few episodes, I can't remember the last time I seen Kanye wearing Yeezys. Not one time. He's been walking around wearing those Red Wing boots for months now. I mean, for a really long time. It's starting to get hot outside, and he's still committed to this look, these boots. I mean, I saw like him at his daughter's soccer game or basketball game. I don't know where he was. I mean, he's wearing the boots, so clearly if the sun being out and a little bit warmer weather isn't going to get him to throw a pair of 350s on, this Adidas thing is over, all right, to me. I honestly think that Adidas is taking this opportunity to do what Nike didn't do. Hey, this is a wrap. We about to go out with a bang. Retroing turtle doves is a big thing. I think I would have expected them to like retro maybe Moon Rocks or Pirate Blacks. Probably Pirate Blacks. I think Pirate Blacks got retroed. This is the first Pirate Black. Got retroed maybe or released. I don't know, say retroed. Got released maybe 2 or 3 times. I had picked up a pair on the second or third release. I think I had 2 pairs. I think I got one the first release, or I paid resale for the first one, and then the second one I got for retail, and then I sold the first pair, I think. And I had Moon Rocks, and I had, what was the tan one called? I can't remember. I had the tan one. I didn't have turtle doves. What was that tan one called? There were Moon Rocks? I don't remember. But like I said, I think they're like, you know what? Nike didn't go out there and throw out some Yeezy 2s, Yeezy 1s and stuff like that when he was leaving or whatnot. Hey, Nike still can retro those if they wanted to. I mean, they're legendary sneakers. Yeezy 1 is legendary due to the fact of the color schemes. The model of the shoe didn't age well. Every once in a while you see somebody throw on a Yeezy 1, and that's fine. They look fine. They're more of like, damn, them is crazy when you see them. But they didn't age well. They didn't age well like Yeezy 2s. Yeezy 2s are legendary and classic. I don't think Yeezy 2s look as fire on people on foot as a lot of other people do, but them joints is fire, and Nike should have probably been retro them joints. But Nike is a lot smarter than me and us, so, they probably have their reasons. Will I try for these? Yes. If these joints, and I don't remember retail on these, I feel like retail on these were $180. If they try to hit us with a $300 or a $280 for these, I'm going to be really bothered by that. Now, I'll probably still cop, only because I do understand they came out however many years ago, and I do understand inflation and stuff like that. But, the variation of prices when it comes out to Yeezys is just kind of getting ridiculous to me. That last Wave Runner run that just dropped, last month, them joints were $300. And that's, look, and I still want a pair of Wave Runners, but something about the 300 just didn't sit well with me. I didn't even try, and I think I subconsciously didn't try because they were 300. Like, I didn't even just like, let me go put my raffle ticket in or whatever, my confirmed raffle in and see what happens. I didn't even bother. I just didn't. No, I wasn't going to. I think it's surprising, though. I don't think a lot of people are looking forward to turtle doves. I think it's like, oh, that's cool. Like, I'll grab a pair. I didn't have a pair, or I don't have a pair. I will say this, that if they're going to drop these, make a good amount. You know what I mean? Like, go ahead and drop a decent amount. Give everybody the opportunity to get those. I think a lot of people missed out on those in the past. That was limited back then. They were nothing, and I can't remember the last time I seen anybody wearing a Yeezy 350 V1, any colorway. The 350 V2 has flooded and dominated the Yeezy Adidas market so crazy that they almost make those look old. I had saw like some pictures of people posting the 750, I think it was, or 700, the very first Adidas Yeezy release. The boot looked like a UGG Eskimo boot type thing. Man, they look old. Like they look like they came out in like 2000, like 2001. They look crazy now because they don't have those colors. They don't have that easy to wear. That's when Kanye was, Kanye has his moods. You had to work to wear those. You had to really concentrate and put work in to wear those original Yeezy 700s, I think, the boot ones, Everybody appreciated the 350 because it made it a little bit easier, and obviously it looked like a Roche run, and that was the whole thing, and, it's a Roche run. Look, man, just appreciate the shoe. The shoe was extremely comfortable, and it is what it is. Shout out to the homie this week. Has sent me a DM and, had got me to thinking, with regards to sneakers, that you see on the streets versus social media. I feel like my transitions are off while doing this right now in here. And I think my allergies are starting to act up. I don't know. But for some reason, I'm just not comfortable. I'm tired, but I didn't want to leave you guys hanging this week. I wanted to give you guys some type of content, to listen to during your work week or, whatever you guys got going on this week. Not a long episode, but, I'm just really uncomfortable in here. I don't know if I'm just hot or what. I feel like my transitions are off. I feel like my voice is off. I feel like my voice is like extremely deep. My voice is always really deep. I speak in a higher tone so people can understand me more, but my voice is essentially like really, really deep. But then when I get like nasally, what am I talking about here? I'm just rambling now. The homie, and I'm not gonna say his name, but shout out to you, man. Like me and him always talk all the time or whatnot. And he asked me, he said, I don't know if he had like a homie that was slanging these or he had the opportunity, but he asked me should he cop New Balance 550 ALDs, the A-Made Lean Dior, or Beluga 350 Reflectives. He said he had never owned a pair of Yeezys or whatnot, and the Belugas were the only ones he wanted, and he had the opportunity to buy them, but he really liked the ALD 550, and I guess the homie was going to sell him the green pair, which I think the green pair might be the most expensive pair. Either way, he was going to be able to get either one. And I think he really wanted me to tell him to go ahead and get the Yeezy Beluga because he never had one. Now, granted, he never had a 550 either, but I told him that he got to get the 550. And he was like, yeah, I don't know if I'll wear it that much, and I don't know how comfortable it is. He really wanted the Adidas Beluga. I don't know which one he ended up going against getting. I know he ended up buying a pair of Ferrari 14s this week as well. He sent me a picture of those. And I told him, I said, you know what? To me, all right? To me, I said, and this sort of goes back to what I was saying about dunks and stuff like that. I said, I think the ALD 550 has more street value. And what I mean by street value is not street value for, the listeners on the block right now. I don't mean like how much these go on the streets, But when you see a 550 ALD outside, they make me go, ooh, them is crazy. To me, that ooh, them is crazy, or ooh, killing it. That's your street value to me. Your social media value is different. Like ALD 550 social media value isn't as high as an Ama Maniere 3 social media value. You get what I'm saying? Now, I'm speaking more from me, from my taste and what I'm thinking, because you might have another sneakers that fall into that. I'm going to list a few sneakers under here that kind of, to me, fall into that category, maybe even groups of sneakers, but there's a difference from street value, my point of view of street value versus social media value. An ALD 550, when you see it outside, because you don't see them that often, but every time you see it, them joints is clean. And it isn't like something whack or something that's just like, you don't see often. Them joints is fire. But see, an ALD 550, and I could be wrong, maybe I'm not paying close enough attention, but a lot of New Balance 550s don't have that social media value. I'll tell you something, I gave George a hard time about Mocha 1s, right? Mocha 1s are a black toe with brown in the back. A Jordan 1 black toe high with brown in the back. That's what it is. And I remember George he had to have them, dying to have them, get his hands on them, whatnot. Still hasn't worn them, by the way. I thought it was lazy of a lot of people to try to say they were sneaker of the year. I mean, that's easy. That sneaker could have had brown in the back, black in the back, blue in the back, orange in the black, yellow in the black back. It still would have been fire. It didn't matter. I'm going to tell you something. When I took the family to Disneyland earlier this year, I think, I saw a few Mocha ones outside. Them joints were fire. That's street value to me. I don't think I've seen a Mocha one on foot in Arizona. Facts. Not saying that ain't nobody outside rocking them. Don't get it twisted, because I know how a lot of y'all like to act. Yo, what you talking about, fam? I wore mine to the mall the other day. And I wasn't there, cuz. I wasn't there, all right? Them hit different, boy, in that California light. And I saw them like, whew, I could see it now. Social media value to me are sneakers like Amamenyour 3s. Extreme Fire. I mean, the shoe in hand, it's perfection. The craftsmanship of the shoe is utter perfection. But it's social media. Man, what's the word I'm looking for? I keep wanting to say allure. It's social media aura? Is that it? I don't know. That sounds weird too. Certain words sound nasty too. Aura. Ew. Whatever. I think the Amamenyour 3's social media stature is greater than its on the block stature. It's street value. I've seen plenty of Amamenyor 3s on the streets in Arizona. Plenty of them. Went to California, seeing them. Plenty. They don't do nothing for me like that when you see them. And one, there's a lot of people that don't know how to wear them joints. Amamenyor 3s are not easy to wear. I don't care how many times you tag me on your fit. There's only been maybe 2-3 people who were rocking them joints, and I thought like, ooh, they did it right. Guess what? They were all ladies. Don't remember what I said in the beginning of the podcast. These ladies out here, these lady sneakerheads, they killing you fellas with the fits and stuff. I'm telling you. They killing you fellas with the fits. That's no lie. Now, I can tell you why. A lot of you don't know how to buy the right size for your body, but that's another podcast. Nike Dunk. Not a dunk. Not this dunk. Not that dunk. Nike Dunks. Nike Dunks have become social media value. But here's the best part about Dunks too. Got street value too. And it's a different type of street value. It's shoe now. So when I see somebody outside wearing Dunks, I'm not like, ooh, I'm not like nothing. It's like, he got his Dunks on. Them shoe. Shouldn't nobody be treating Dunks special? None. Now, there's some SBs, maybe? Yes. I'm talking about your lifestyle dunk, your SP, not SB. Should nobody be treating them special? Should nobody be coming home scrubbing them joints down, wiping them off, pulling the laces, tying them back to factory, sliding them in the box? Dunks are shoe now. So when you go outside and you see somebody and you say, yo, everybody got black whites on, it's shoe. You see somebody with Kentucky's on, it's shoe. You see somebody with Michigan's on, it's shoe. It's not like, ooh, them the Michigan joints. You know why? Because the Michigan joints, the dunk joint, the black white joints, the Syracuse joints, the Kentucky joints, all dunk joints have high social media value as well. So they sort of like teeter in between. Maybe they should be in the middle, but I hope you get what I'm saying. I hope I'm making some sense here. And this was a conversation between me and the homie in DMs and whatnot. Shout out to him. Adidas Yeezy. A lot of people, it's been so long. A lot of people forget that the Adidas 350 V2, I'm talking about V2s right now, And I'm throwing in all Adidas Yeezy, and I'm probably not including the very first drops of Adidas Yeezy, the 350 V1 and the original boot 700, 750, 720, 710, whatever it was. 500, whatever it was, I don't know. When the 350 V2 first came out, it had not a grip on the market, but boy, it had us in a chokehold. We needed a pair. I paid $5.90, maybe $6 for my OG Belugas from this homie. Shout out to him. Maybe that much. Those and zebras. Woo! Those zebras, red stripes, olive stripe, white stripe, black, red, digital clock, whatever you want to call that joint. Them joints had a grip on us. Had to have a pair. You didn't know how many you needed. You didn't know how many you were going to get. We had no idea at that time that there would probably be this many pair of colorways. That's no joke. And honestly, we probably thought by now there'd be a different model of it. There are different versions of it, but it's not enough of a different version to be like, it ain't just like the other one. Add a little see-through panel, add a few little more threads and stuff like that to it. Cool. It's still a 350 V2. Those have higher social media value than street value to me. And I hope you remember what I call street value. Street value to me is seeing something outside going like, them is crazy. That's value to me. Or like, ooh, dang, you don't see them often. Adidas and Kanye kept their promise. If you don't have or haven't had a pair of 350 V2s yet, you need to... If you have put forth maximum effort and have been trying to get a pair of Adidas 350 V2s and haven't, you need to legit think about, is sneaker culture for you? Because it is virtually impossible not to get a 350 V2. Maybe it's a little bit harder now because I feel like they have kind of like tightened it up a bit. But there was a moment in time where you go in the store and you had 3 or 4 to choose from. May not be the most coveted colorways. Maybe every single one that was sitting in the store looked the exact same. Regardless, if you wanted a 350 V2, you could have got yourself one. It wasn't like that with the 350 V1. Now, Kanye said he wanted to see everybody in their sneakers. You can go anywhere on this planet and run into some 350s. 350s were on the block so much that it made you question if them joints, if you even liked them anymore. I remember I was seeing zebras in the grocery store so much. I ain't talking about I'm out of town at a grocery store. I'm talking about like I go right down the street to my local Fry's. That's Fry's in Arizona. I don't know if any other state got Fry's. Fry's is like our super brand, out here. See a cat grabbing some Heinz 57 wearing zebras. Go down the other aisle, you see another cat grabbing the tortillas and zebras. You go to checkout, see a cat up there joking around with his girl and some zebras. You go in the parking lot, see a little kid pushing the shopping carts back to the store. And the zebras, you like, zebras might suck now. But that's just sneakerhead talk. Sneakerheads love to feel special, love exclusivity. Don't let a sneakerhead tell you otherwise. Don't believe any of those sneakerheads on social media. They're like, yo, I'm just in it for the game. Yo, I don't care about if anybody thinks about it. I don't care about it, fam. Trust me, I just love the game, yo. It's my thing. You love the attention. Guess what? So do I. And it's okay. Sneakers make you feel good. Street value to me is when you go outside and you see somebody wearing a Pusha T Adidas. What were they? Equipment Ultra Boosts, Bodega Babies, or the silver joints. Even the Coke White, what were they, 93s, I think? Come on, man. That's street value to me. All right? You know, that's, was that pun intended? You know, Pusha T's, Pusha T Adidas got street value. That might be a bar somewhere in there, but I ain't got time to spit today. Don DeMarco. George wore Pusha T's, the silver joints to work. Almost made me flip. I love seeing them joints. That's that street value. You don't see them often. You're like, whoa, them is crazy. Make you go home and pull out your Bodega Babies. Bodega Babies came in a brown paper bag, fam. That's street value. Like I said, Jordan 1 Mochas. Jordan 1 Mochas is a black toe with a brown booty. But when you see them outside, you're like, man, I can see it. The joint is fire. I'm trying to think of something else. I think I wrote something down. What we were going to discuss. Like a New Balance 550 Emilion Dior. Leon Dior? AOD. And that's just off top of my head and what I had thought about prior to doing this. Those got street value to me. And there's plenty of other sneakers. You could even throw a Ferrari 14 in there. I don't like Ferrari 14s. I think it's one of the worst sneakers of all time. But you don't see them often. But when you see them and somebody's wearing them right, it makes you go like, the red ones or the yellow ones. It makes you go like, maybe I should have kept them joints a little bit longer. You come to your senses later. But there are certain sneakers out there that you just don't see often that I feel are what I consider street value versus social media value. Union 1s. You don't see Union 1s on foot out here a lot. Now, maybe in California and stuff like that, you do. There are people that are out there on the streets like that, you know, Fairfax, Melrose and stuff like that. They're out there. There's a really big sneaker community that's way different, you know, than ones out here in Arizona. I may have seen Union 1s on foot out here maybe once, and they were blue toes. I've seen them in hands numerous times at stores out here, consignment shops, but I think on foot I saw the blue toe one time. It didn't like wow me. It didn't do anything. I wasn't like, ooh, it didn't do nothing for me because it's a Jordan 1, you know. I'll say this, I think I probably reacted more to seeing Mocha 1s than I did Union 1s on foot, and that's no lie. But to me, a Union 1 is a social media sneaker. You know, has social media value. Alma Meniere 3s, like I already said, social media value. You pull your Alma Meniere 3s out and put on a halfway decent fit, post on social media, yeah, you may get 500 likes. You go outside with them, you know, oh, you got the Alma Meniere 3s on. That's what's up. Ooh, them ALDs looking fire. Street value to me. But shout out to the homie, man. I don't know which one he copped. I'm sure he's going to listen to this in the morning or not. I think he works a night shift. If not, hit me up, fam. Let me know which one you copped. Like I said, man, just me solo today. Sorry if I seem a little bit off. Like I said, not under the weather or nothing like that, but kind of throws you off when you're in the closet. So, not in the closet that way. You know what I mean. Manscaped. I appreciate everybody who copped some products from Manscaped and used our code. I think a few of you went to Target and bought the Manscaped versus buying it online and using the code, which is cool. But go ahead and tag Manscaped and, you know, tag us on it to let you know you went and copped, you know, due to us. You know, a lot of people thought the ad that I did last week was, you know, funny and stuff like that. I like to be, you know, pretty transparent. I'm not a script type person, especially when it comes to stuff like this, and especially if I actually use the product and like it. Now, let me show you something. I had no idea this was in the package that I opened up on the podcast last week. I got home, opened it up. I already did the ad for it on the podcast. I said, yo, let me go home. I got to use my product. Now I got to take it out the box. Lift up the box, under it. Beautiful leather bag. Put all my stuff in it. Also, there's like a newspaper in it. It looks like newspaper. It's not a newspaper. It's a mat. It's a mat for you to stand on. So when you know, getting your shave on, the hair falls on it, fold it up, right to the trash can. Let me tell you something. I love this Manscaped products. I'm not joking. I'm 100% serious about this. Use the code SNEAKDIS for 20% off, okay? 20% off and free shipping, all right? Some brands and some things like that will offer you, a discount on and no free shipping. This one right here, 20% off and free shipping. And I love the products. I'm going to go through it again for you guys. Look, man, I'm telling you, you got to take care of yourselves, fellas. Look at this. This right here. Listen to this hum. I think you can hear that hum. I think you can hear that. Look, that's the nose trimmer. Fellas, look in the mirror. Go like this. Get them joints. Look at your ears. Look closely. You don't even got to see the hair. Just go ahead and put it in there. Once you hear the chopping, you're copping. Okay? When you're hanging out with your homies and stuff, go ahead and just like take a peek at their ears. Go look like this. You'd be like, whoa. You had no idea they had hair coming out of it like that. You don't want to look like that. Go ahead and get you the nose hair joint. This joint will get you right. I'm telling you, when you trim your nose hairs, if you don't trim your nose hairs or haven't trimmed your nose hairs, when you trim your nose hairs, and you go, it feels like you landed on another planet. Facts. Look, don't make me pull out the 4.0. Listen to the hum. Oops, I haven't charged it up yet. Man. Perfection, all right? I use this personally on myself. It's okay. Use it on yourself. It got me right. Got me trimmed up. This joint has a nice handle. It's waterproof. Look, like I said, I don't recommend using stuff like this in the shower only because your hair lays down. Makes it a little bit harder to cut. Use it on dry land. Use the water. Put it under the water. Clean all the hair out. It's perfect. Got the LED light on it. Get a close view. Come with the accessories. It got your guards. Look at this. Come on, man. You got your guards. A lot of other shavers and stuff like that come with guards. They don't trim you up right. All right? They don't trim you up right. Pulls, tugs. This right here, glides. Like I said, me down below right now, from the waist down, I got the perfect. I got a fade. Perfect. All right. Now I'm about to pull out my favorites. All right? Let me tell you something. You go to the website, and you're like, well, let me just go ahead and see what they got, test them out. Let me tell you something. You need these two things, all right? These are my favorite. I'm in Arizona. It's hot. This is called the Crop Preserver. This is ball deodorant, all right? This one right here is called the Crop Reviver. This is ball toner, all right? Let me describe this one to you. Let me talk to you about this one first, okay? This one first right here is for when you get out the shower. Get out the shower, you dry off, you go ahead and put a little bit in your hand, rub your palms together. Go ahead and lather them up. Lather them up. Conditions them. Let them air dry. Conditions them. I'm telling you, you need this. This prepares you for the next day. You go to bed, stay fresh, wake up for the next day. You be ready with this. This right here, this is the Reviver. All right? Look, man, it's a hot day. All right? Arizona gets close to 130 sometimes, okay? It's hot. I don't care if you're out here wearing Eric Emanuel shorts. I don't care how thin your shorts are. It gets hot and it gets stank down there. You spray this twice, you back. The smell of this and the ball deodorant is, I mean, it smells like rugged and sophistication. It's like if you walked into like a bar saloon and started a bar fight with a tuxedo on. That's what this smells like. It smells like, like if an Englishman walked in with a three-piece tuxedo on and started a bar fight, in the Wild West. It's like 007 versus Clint Eastwood. That's what this smells like. This smells like man, all right? Woo! I'm telling you. Now, look, I understand maybe I described it, I like to give descriptive things, and I mentioned this. I said, yo, even for your lady, I'm telling you guys something right now. Like I said, use the code SNEAKDIS, 20% off and free shipping. Trimming the bush helps the push, okay? Now, I need you to read between the lines of from what I'm talking about, okay? Now, this podcast is for sneakerheads, okay? So I gotta break it down to you in sneakerhead terms, all right? It's like an Air Max bubble, okay? Let's say an Air Max bubble is around your goalpost, all right? Your goalpost, whatever you want to call your post. When you squeeze an Air Max bubble, it compresses, but then it stops at some point. That's like your bush. That's like your bush when you're with your partner, whoever your partner may be. When you're with your partner and you doing some pushing, the bush goes down, but it gets in the way. Trust me, you cut that bush down, the push, it's not in the way no more. You get maximum effort out of your push when you're getting busy. I'm telling you, I know this from experience. Like I said on the other podcast, I had never trimmed myself down below the waist before I got married. That first night I did it, the wife said, not joking. I'm sharing my life stuff with you. Trim the bush for the push. All right? Look, ladies come home every week. Every week, their nails done, makeup done, hair done, and they go to you and say, notice anything different? You got to take a real close look. Sometimes you may not be able to see it. Go to your partner. Now listen to what I said. Go to your partner. Don't go nowhere where you ain't supposed to be and say, Greg from this podcast told you to go here. Go to your partner. Pull your pants down. Ask him. Notice anything different? I'm telling you, don't notice. The holidays are coming. What's the next holiday? Easter? Go ahead and use your Manscaped. Trim it down. Throw some color on it for Easter. Really spice up your life. That's no joke. Like I said, Manscaped. Go to the website. Put some stuff in your cart. Go to the promo code area. Type in SNEAKDISS, SNEAKDISS. Go ahead and get that 20% off and free shipping. How about the podcast as well? Trim your bush for the push. What else we talking about this week, fam? I don't know. I feel like I'm missing something I wanted to talk about. Oh, I'm not going to say shout out, but let me explain something to you. Nice Kicks was being nice kicks, corn on the cob, corny, corn casserole. Let me tell you something. Nice Kicks might be the corniest social media sneaker of all time. They're corn on the cob, unicorn, Capricorn. They're all of the corns. All right, corn on the cob. I mean, good Lord, they're corn. On April Fool's, they had put up a post. Now, this is what I'm about to discuss right here, may trigger some of you male sneakerheads again. Actually, no, let me take that back. Maybe trigger a lot of you sneakerheads again. And let me tell you something. It threw me for a loop when I sat down in that area. That area that your wife makes in your bedroom. Now, maybe it's just my bedroom. I'm blessed. We have a lot of space in our bedroom. We have one of those areas where it's like a table and a chair, 2 chairs, and I think we're supposed to sit there and stare at each other. But we have one of those areas in our bedroom, and Nice Kicks that made this post, like an April Fool post. And it was like Travis Scott has teased or coming out with the Jordan 1 mid. All right. Now, I don't be keeping up with April Fools and stuff like that, especially early in the morning. You can catch everybody slipping when you get them first thing in the morning. By midday, by around 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, noon, wherever you stand at, everything is a lie on social media by then. But you get caught up wiping the crust out your eyes, roll over, take a look at IG first and see something like that, you'll believe it. So I seen the post. I believed it. Like, I just thought figures. I didn't think much about it, whatever. But this what blew my mind was the comments. Now, I've seen these comments numerous times. And I want to give something else as well when I talk about this podcast. I need you guys to understand, and I've talked about this numerous times about this with me and George in this podcast and guests that come on this podcast. This podcast is about George and I. Okay? He's not here, but George and I. Okay? About what we like, what we do, how we talk, what we think. And we're sharing it with everybody else's entertainment purposes. This isn't to sway you. This isn't to convince you. This isn't to make you feel bad. This isn't to make you feel any type of way about the things that you like, the things that you want to cop, the things that you want to do. In no way, shape, or form, do not listen to this podcast and go, yo, I can't cop that because Greg them said it's whack. Or Greg them don't like it. Or Greg them don't rock with it. Or Greg them made a joke about it. No. Don't ever do that. This podcast is ours. And what I mean by ours is the sneaker culture. It's everybody's. Everybody's welcome. That's why I love back and forth through DMs. And I love back and forth in conversation. Like, yo, you crazy. These are fire. If you like them, you like them, man. Them joints is whack to me. We're still homies. Then the conversations I like. I'm not saying nothing on here to down what you copped or make you feel bad or feel different about what you copped. This is a sneaker podcast about me and my big bro, okay? And what we talk about and how we talk and how we act. And you see it many times on this podcast. We come in and say something one week, come in and backtrack the next week. We're sneakerheads just like you. But the comments of visceral, and this is for everybody who had fell for it, prior to understanding that it was an April Fool's joke about Jordan 1 mids. Now, Jordan 1 mids, I've made jokes about. I've even said I think Jordan 1 mids are for teen moms. I'm making jokes. You know what I mean? I don't, But this is me being old OG sneakerhead. I mean, look at all this. Look at all this foolishness. This is too much. You know what I mean? I think a part of one reason, too, why a lot of people give Jordan 1 mids a hard time is because there's no way we could add another Jordan 1 model to any of our... We can't. I couldn't. Lows and highs. Don't get me to add mids and stuff like that, whatnot. But boy, people in the comments were going ham on mids. Now, I've seen it before, and I've never really talked about it before. But you know what's funny is, I had to sit back. Rewind. I had to go sit down in that chair in our bedroom that for whatever reason women put in the bedroom. I sat in the chair, and you know what's crazy? I've been in the sneakers. I'm talking for... I can't remember not being in the sneakers, okay? I'm talking back as far as second to third grade, first grade. I was always into sneakers. The very first Jordan 1s I got? And I had to think about it. See, this is what happens in the sneaker community. This is what happens with sneakerheads. This is what happens with OGs and what happens with new sneakerheads. A lot of people start equating how long they've been into it to how they can act online and how they can act in public, or how many pairs of something they have to how they can act towards another model. The very first pair of Jordan 1s I owned was the pack. What was that pack called? I wrote this all down. Old Love, New Love. Those were the very first Jordan 1s I owned. Guess what those were? Those were mids. Okay. I got those, I think those released in 2007, I think. Here's what's crazy. The main reason why I and a lot of people had wanted those was, one, it was two Jordans in one. It was a pack. That was an era. A lot of people don't remember that when they made the packs. That was one. Two, I talked about it on this podcast before. I know I keep saying that, but you know what? This podcast, we say a lot of things first before a lot of other people. We do. It sometimes irks me. Sometimes you go on social media and see somebody say something you said months, years ago, and it gets all this traction. Anyways. But it was also a yellow Jordan 1. It was a yellow Jordan. Colors like that in Jordans back in the day was not super duper common. So whenever that stuff started, that's why lightnings were so like, whoa. Thunders and stuff was like, holy shite. Yellow Jordan, You think back to, Jumpman 23 website. Like, people forget, man, we were aching for something that wasn't black and red. We really were. That's why Aqua 8s were so like, woo. That's why Concords were like, yee. They were black and red. Of course, they came up with the black and red version of any Carolina colorways. Everybody jumped on them. And I'm a Jordan 1 high rider. You know, when I got my very first pair of Jordan 1 highs was like 2010, and it was 2009 Shadows that I had got. And I would come on this podcast and I would be in public and I would ride ridiculously hard for, I would ride crazy hard for Jordan 1 highs. But I encourage Sneakerhead. Now I'm talking to all sneakerheads this time. Here's that disclaimer. If you're listening to this podcast while driving, grab your steering wheel at the 10 and 2 position, because this might bother you a bit. If you're listening to this podcast on your headphones and you're in a public place, you're in high school, you're in cafeteria, you're on public transportation, you're somewhere, I encourage you to take a look around your surroundings. This might bother you a bit. If you outside on the block slinging them things, and you got your headphones in, go ahead, put them things in your pocket, take a look around the corner, make sure the ops ain't gonna catch you slipping when I say this. If you're a white collar sneakerhead, and this is for my men and women, this is for all of you. You're a white collar sneakerhead, go ahead and hit Control-Alt-Delete on the keyboard so it'll end up clicking nothing. If you're a blue collar sneakerhead, you're out there pouring cement, it's coming out the truck, go ahead and pull that back up, pull that lever back up. I'll put that cement on pause real quick till you hear this. I wouldn't want you to get injured by any heavy machinery. I need all you sneakerheads that sit there and ride ridiculously crazy hard for Jordan 1 highs. I need you to go sit down in that spot in your home. I need you to go sit on the edge of the bed. I need you to go sit in that chair. I need you to go pull your car in the garage and sit there for a little bit before you go inside the house. I need you to go in, when you're taking a shower, you sit in the toilet, and you just sit there. You need to think. You ask yourself, when did I get my first pair of Jordan 1 highs? Because let me tell you something, please, we can all appreciate Jordan 1 highs, but we all need to stop acting like we was there in 85. It's just the fact of the matter. When I sat down and realized my very first Jordan 1 was the mid-pack, I was like, And then I didn't get my very first Jordan high until 2010, and it was of the last year. It was of the 2009 Shadows. And I think I paid like a little bit extra for them, or maybe they were sitting. I don't even remember. A lot of us love to act like, yo, we've been on the Jordan 1 highs for a long time. It's been a long time, don't get me wrong. Now, that was about, that was a long time ago. It's about, 2010. That was about 12, 13 years ago. I've been riding with Jordan 1 highs. But a lot of us will sit around and act like we've been copping Jordan 1 highs since 1990 and stuff like that. There's only a select few since 85. Because I've said this numerous times before, and I know I keep saying that. Jordan 1 highs were Chuck Taylors to me. Me and the other homies consider Jordan 1 highs Chuck Taylors. That's why we didn't cop. It was a high sneaker, thin, no cushioning, no technology, no nothing. That's all it was. It was understandable of what it was, but it wasn't what it is today. So I think a lot of us need to kind of just rein it in a bit, the Jordan 1 highs. Have an appreciation for the Jordan 1, but don't act like we was there in 85. Like, we need to kind of relax with that. So the visceral and hate for the mids, I get it. And I always say this too. Anybody that tells you, like, yo, keep the same energy you had about this, shut up. If that joint is fire, I'll cop if I want to. But on Jordan 1 mids, though, I might have to ride that wave. The way some of y'all treat Jordan 1 mids, I might have to ask y'all to keep that same energy. Because I might have to. I might have to. I'm not a Jordan 1 mid guy. I got enough highs. I got enough lows. I'm good on it, But, people also got to understand, a lot of people converted or gave the Jordan 1 mid a shot because Jordan 1 highs and Jordan 1 lows were damn near impossible to get and still are to this day. So it's like, if you got the opportunity to get, a black red mid, why wouldn't you take it? And by all means, this is no advocacy of Jordan 1 mids. This is a public service announcement to all you sneakerheads who act like you've been in the game since the game was created. Remember, some of you might need to sit down and think back to when you really got into sneakers. It's okay. Think about it. Figure it out. It's okay. I don't think I have anything else. Like I said, quick episode. Hour and a half. I don't know how long this is going to be. Should have the audio up by tonight. I do want to give a special shout out. Oh, I did say I was going to show a pair of sneakers that I had talked about on the episode. I did want to show some appreciation and love for somebody who passed away. My best friend, one of my best friends, she moved back to, New York. She's a New Yorker, and, she had her mother just recently passed away. One of the sweetest women. I mean, I envied my friend and her mother and their family for their relationship, and, she passed away on Sunday. I found out the news today and it broke my heart. It really did, because this was somebody who, she was that Italian, woman. And she welcomed me and my wife and family into their home in New York. I mean, fed us. We drank some limoncello. I mean, this is somebody who, made you feel like part of the family the first time you met them. Her name was Carol. And, it's funny because, she was, I hate a ride or die, but, man, she was about it. She didn't take no junk from nobody, but she loved everyone and she appreciated everybody. She always showed love. And she gave you, one of them, them kisses, hold both sides of your face and give you the kiss on the cheek. And she was just such a joyous person, and I've brought her up on this podcast before. So don't worry, sneakerheads. There's a sneaker story in this. I know you guys are, probably like, get the sneakers, Greg. But can I be human for a little bit? Can I talk about something else for a little bit? Yeesh. But I remember when, some of you guys may not remember this, but it used to be even harder to get sneakers, and it was Twitter RSVP. And, Nike would send out a tweet, and you had to, DM or respond with the secret word or code. I can't even remember how that process worked. It was like a hashtag. It was a word. I don't know. Now, what was crazy was about the situation was that it wasn't strictly local. It's how I got Yeezy 2s, through Twitter RSVP. I had to drive to California to get it. You can do the Twitter RSVP for every store in the country, the world, if you wanted to. You just had to get there and get them. And 21 Mercer in New York, we're dropping the LeBron Cork. I think that's the 10. I think that model was a 10. I can't remember. And I did our 21 Mercer sent their tweet out. I got the response, and I had got a pair of LeBron Cork 10s. And, I won a pair. Only people I knew in New York is, my best friend, Lenore. And, I asked her if she could go ahead and go and get them for me. And Lenore has tried to help me numerous times. She tried to help me get Red Cement Dunk SBs when they dropped at Supreme. She left her job immediately, headed over there. It was a madhouse. She didn't. But, and that's not even the reason for my love for her, with sneakers. I'm just saying that's just part of how good of a person she is and her mother was. Lenore couldn't get them for me. My friend couldn't get them for me. But Lenore's mother went outside. I don't remember if it was cold or hot at the time. I feel like it was during cold. She went outside and stood in line at 21 Mercer with a bunch of young knuckleheads in the line just for me. Okay? That's how much love that she had for me. I loved her to death. I really did. And we used to talk every once in a while. I haven't talked to her in a really, really long time. And I'm not one of those people that oh no, I didn't get to talk to her. I should have never stopped. That's life. You know what I mean? I encourage you guys to feel the exact same way, man. You know what I mean? Once somebody's family, they're family. Once somebody's the homies, they're homies. And you're sort of I don't want to say grow apart, but, you get busy in life, Lenore had a beautiful daughter, and, she had other grandkids and stuff like that. She didn't need to be texting me all the way in Arizona, talk about, Suits. We used to watch Suits, and, we talked about Sex in the City and stuff like that. She used to love. Like, we used to talk about a lot of things, and, so I don't feel like, oh, I didn't even get to talk to her. And, a beautiful woman who welcomed me in her home. That's how we found out my oldest Oscar was allergic to cats. We went to their home, and we had dinner, and they had cats and stuff. She was a super animal lover. She loved animals more than she did humans. And, we found that Oscar was allergic to cats. They had cats, and his face was blowing up. We're sitting there in the middle of New York. We just got off the train and stuff, and, had to get him some Benadryl and stuff like that. But that was just the type of person she was. We went to New York to go to Lenore's wedding, and, Rosia was pregnant at the time, and it was cold, and, and they just welcomed us, and I'm gonna, even like I said, I haven't talked to her in a long time, years, I'm gonna miss her, just knowing that she's not there, my heart, is broken for my friend, But like I said, just that little sneaker story that I told you is just one of those situations of like how much she cared for others and me. She could have been doing anything. I think at the time she had a cane as well. She wasn't in the best of health, but she went out there at 21 Mercer to hang out with a bunch of young knucklehead sneakerheads waiting in line to go inside and show proof that that she's coming to pick up a pair of 9.5 LeBron Corks for me, and I love her to death, rest in peace and whatnot. Like I said, I envied them as a family, so sneakers real quick. So like I said, every time I do a podcast or something in the closet, I usually do a top 10 or something by myself, but just didn't feel like throwing a top 10 together today. So I actually got some sneakers that I wanted to show. Now I had mentioned this on the podcast prior that I had found some like Barkley Vans in my closet. I might have shown them in another previous closet episode. I don't know. But every time I see these sneakers, they throw me for a loop because they're so weird. I don't think they have any air or zoom in them. They're called, actually, let me go ahead and get them right now. Let me take a swig of water. Manscaped, code SNEAKDIS, 20% off and free shipping. So these are called, now these are a brown box, okay? When Nike was using their brown box. The retail price on these were $88. I have no idea where I got these. I have no idea how, where, when. I don't know. I'm going to look at the year inside, but these are called Nike Auto Force 180 mids. Okay. Now, I don't know what the other Force 180s were, the Air Max 180s were, the Barclays. I don't know what those are highs or something. I don't know. So, here's the box. It was the brown box era, not the orange box, not anything like that. Had all the different Nike logos on it, If you got in these boxes, take a good look at the box and look at all the logos. It's crazy to see like the Shocks. You probably can't see it. The Nike Shocks logo. You got the Air Max 360. You got Force. You got a version of Air and a font. You got the Up-Tempo logo. You got the NYC. You got the LA. You got the Just Do It. There's a lot of logos on here. The ACG logo, Wild West logo. There's a lot of things on here. Take a look at one of these boxes if you got them at home. Take a real close look at it. So here's the shoe. Now, mine are yellow. So I legit have no idea where I got these, what these were, if this was like part of a pack. If anybody knows or have any information, I'm probably sure I could look it up, but I don't want to. The patent leather is yellow. It has like a Janoski sole on it. It has like a Janoski sole, a leather toe box, patent leather around it. It has the puffy 180 tongue, the 180. A lot of you remember this colorway. It was the Olympic colorway that Barkley wore in the 92 Olympics with the Dream Team. I think it was 92 that he wore this one. I think, yeah. Got the Force on the Velcro. I don't know if I've ever worn these. They have a rock in the sole and they look a little bit dirty, so I guess I've worn them before. Got the gold Nike in the bear. Doesn't have Nike Air, which means I don't think these have any air in them whatsoever. It's a 9.5, and the year inside is '09. I found this when I went through my closet and donated all those pairs of sneakers that I talked about on the previous episode, and I came across these again, and I couldn't donate them. I don't know why. I don't think I ever plan on wearing them, but there's something special about these to me, and I don't know what it is. I love the puffy 180 tongue. It sort of has that SB feel to it. It has a basketball skater vibe to it, but they're not SBs. You know what I mean? They're in the box that Nike basketball came in. You know, this is a Nike Auto Force 180, $88. I have no idea what this is, man, but I love bringing out stuff like this. You know, like I said, I donated all my OGs, all the stuff that was unwearable. I threw them in the trash. You know, that was one thing when I would do a sneaker podcast in the closet, was like bring out something like people haven't seen in a long time and never seen before. I don't have any of that stuff anymore. You know what I mean? It feels good not to have it anymore. That stuff was just the anchor of junk in my closet, holding on to as proof, just in case anybody tried to test me or prove my sneaker hoodness or whatever. But yeah, these are crazy. You know, I don't know if there was ever another color. I've never seen another color. No, I've never seen another color in these. I've never seen anybody wear these before. I don't know if these are worth anything. I have no idea, but I like having things like this in my closet and keeping. That was pretty much all I was going to show today. I was going to show Gucci. You know what? I'm going to show Gucci ones. I think I've showed them. I think I've showed them on this podcast before. I think I've shown them on the podcast before, probably doing a closet episode. I don't know. If I have, I apologize. If not, you know, we have a lot of new listeners and stuff like that. Gucci 1s are a very underrated Jordan 1 to me, and I think they're always overlooked. You know, there've been a lot of Jordans that have come with Jordan 1 highs that have come out as of recent in the last, 10 years. And, you know, there are certain ones that we hold in this super duper high regard and quality, creativity, whatnot, whatever you want to say towards it. And Gucci 1s are always overlooked. Now, they did re-retro Gucci 1s, I think, in 2013, maybe? 14? Don't quote me on that. I don't know. I'm old. My memory is shot. But the original Gucci 1s, I think these came out... Shoot. Let me see. I think these came out... Looks like '08 maybe? I don't know. Now, and going back to the Jordan 1 talk as well, it doesn't count if you bought an older pair of Jordan 1s. And so, I said think back to when you got your first pair of Jordan 1s. No, if you bought a 1990 version of Jordan 1s in 2016, that doesn't count. All right? So, I picked these up. Probably 2016, maybe 17. Got a great deal on them. They were in perfect condition. These are Gucci 1s. A lot of people don't talk about these often. This right here is like that Gucci green velvet, and inside is that same Gucci green velvet with the green and red laces. The suede on this is impeccable, and the leather, this is leather. I know you love shattered backboard leather and stuff like that, but shattered backboard leather has hit the streets before, okay, and still is. So, you know, I understand that sneaker blew us away, but let's not act like that leather is, you know, some leather that's special. All right, had the embossed wings in the green, the Gucci green. These are a very beautiful pair of sneakers. I always want the red joints, whatever the red joints are called. I can never remember, but I still want the red and white joints. I think Rico recently picked them up. I know Jay has a pair of them. But then every time I go to my closet and see these, I'm like, what do I need the red joints for? I got these already. These smell impeccable. I still got the Jumpman on there on the inside. Super duper soft. I'm going to wear these a lot more. I think one reason why I didn't wear them often because they're a size 10. Jordan 1, size 10 fit kind of long on me a little bit. But, I double sock it right now. Plus, I feel like I've been eating a lot lately, so I feel like my shoe size is going up. Shout out to Snacks. But they got the suede right here around the outlets and the good leather. Joints are fire, man. You guys should look into a pair of these. Do not buy the newer version of these. All right, the newer version of these are cheap. The leather is whack. If you can get your hands on the OG, the original OG pair of Gucci ones, go ahead and make that move and make that investment. These are worth it, all right? But do not, and I repeat, do not waste the money on the retro version of the Gucci ones. They aight. If you just want the look, they aight. But I wouldn't do it. I have nothing else. I appreciate everybody who likes, subscribes to this podcast. We'll be back next week. We'll have two homies in the studio. We're having the homie Devontae in the studio. He invited me to his show one time. Oh, shoot. He invited me to his show one time, so I'm going to have him and the other homie who's been on the podcast before come through and, get back to our regular scheduled programming. I'm not going to say I'm looking for changes to the podcast or anything like that, but, people always ask me, like, yo, you're going to ever get a third person on the podcast? I don't know, man. One thing about the format right now is that, it works really, really well with George and I and bringing on guests. In the studio, we only have 4 mics. So it's like, if you bring anybody on permanently, you sort of eliminate the option of even having any guests in studio. I would love to have more women on our podcast. And I think I'm going to make sure I do that at least over Skype throughout the rest of the year. Have more women on the show. I would like to find some more women locally. If you're listening to this podcast, you can at a few ladies locally. Shout out to Laura. She's been on our show a few times, but I need some more ladies in Arizona who are in the sneakers and want to come on the podcast. Man, I'd appreciate you coming on and talking sneakers with us. I want to give everybody the opportunity to be on this podcast if you're local. Like I said, if you're in the state of Arizona and you love sneakers, then you can talk. They'll come on my podcast and you can't talk. You come on the podcast and just stare at me and George. You will not be back. Sorry. But all you got to do is hit me up and say, yo, I want to come to the podcast. Cool. Pull up. This podcast is everybody's. It ain't just mine. It ain't just ours. Shout out to George. Shout out to the Sneaker History Podcast. I did an episode with the homie Mike. Hopefully that drops this week. I definitely want to make sure I promote that. They're one of the other podcasts that I do listen to. I listen to, the homies in New York, Soul Search, and I listen to, Sneaker History Podcast, man. I listen to Sneaker Dads, too. Shout out to Sneaker Dads. That's my homie out in Canada. I listen, there's a couple other podcasts I listen to as well. I spread out, I try not to listen to too much sneaker content because when you listen to sneaker content, you don't want your opinions to, be their opinions, and you don't want to accidentally steal their views on stuff. When it comes to sneakers, a lot of our views end up being the same anyway, which is why you really can't trip when somebody think of something that you said a long time ago. It's just a natural thing that happens. We're human beings, so you can't trip I said that first in 2011. Fam, shut up. All right. But, I do check out those podcasts when it comes to sneakers, and obviously the homies that We're Just the Messengers podcast. And there's a bunch of other podcasts I listen to, Unapologetic, the homie Blanc and stuff like that. So, and there's other ones that I'm not saying right now. So, but man, I really do appreciate you guys rocking with me and George for so long, man. It's been 6 years. And we try to make sure we do our best to keep you guys entertained and have fun and be ourselves. I feel good about having a setup like this to where if something goes down, hey man, gotta come to the closet, record this episode. You gotta do what you gotta do. But I do want to make sure we always give you guys something for the rest of the week. You guys have done nothing but support us for a really, really long time. Man, I go back and look at the first video of us, man, we look so fresh-faced and didn't know what to do with ourselves. But, we stuck it out this long. Like I said, I always appreciate our wives, Rocio, Hannah. Shout out to Hannah for being on the podcast last week. I don't want to say they let us do this, but we're a team. You know what I mean? Anybody who's married or got a girlfriend and stuff like that, don't ever equate your relationship or think stuff like let or can I. It's teamwork. You talk about it. Hey, would you mind if I do this podcast every single week? You'll be at home, all day with the kids by yourself and stuff like that. Is that cool? You know what I mean? Which day works best for you? Work that stuff out, man. You know what I mean? And I envy anybody who could do it at home, man. If I could do this at home forever, I would. But George and I, we're too good together. You know what I mean? So we got to meet halfway in the middle of the city and do it in the studio and whatnot. So, I got nothing else. See you guys next week. That is the Sneak Diss. Pow, pow, pow.